What's up, world? Welcome to the show. This will be our first thingamajig. Shut up. Boom. I need to give myself a little mic. That should work, right? A little lapel mic, like right here. What's this button do? Chat filter? Change moderation? Yeah. Okay. Yep, somebody's here. Welcome to the show. I know it says after work chilling, but it really should say test one of a paranormal show. A little late show that I'm test running right now. So for the people who are here, welcome to the show. I'm Musical Pumpkin. Welcome to Musical Pumpkin Studios. Coming to you live from the good old Evergreen State, King County, Washington, the West Coast, west of the Rockies. Yeah, we're going to be talking about really just about anything paranormal, supernatural, weird. I got like one story that I can tell, but hey, maybe you got some stories of your own. Feel free to put them in chat. We'll talk about them. Talk about ghosts, ghouls, freaky stuff like that, if you're interested. But yeah, anything like that, feel free to put them in chat. There's no topic of the day or anything. We're just going to be talking about stuff. Whether you believe in it or not, it's always fun to just like throw it around the campfire and let the imagination run free. Because, ladies and gentlemen, irregardless of what the world may take from you, you can't take your imagination. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is eternal. Got my drink. It's all good. But yeah, welcome to the show. Happy, I think it's Tuesday now. We're past midnight, but hey, happy late Monday, early Tuesday. Keep grinding, the weekend's almost here, and maybe you got like a short week ahead of you, or maybe it's your final full week before the holidays kick in and get like a few days off. Actually, I got Christmas Eve and Christmas off next week, so I got Wednesday and Thursday off, so that's cool. I love waking up and being like, I don't have to be at work today. That's great. That's amazing. That's so cool. It's so dope. See if anybody says anything. I'm expecting some crackpot chats. This is mobile streaming on YouTube after all. Which is fine. I'm a crackpot person myself, so no doesn't go too far, Now I feel like this is like a lot more, it's more linear, I guess you could say, because on radio broadcasting you cannot say that 6 or 12 magic words that could have the FTC kick in your door with a bill that would be more than anyone could ever hope to make. Because the FTC, when the FCC comes in and drops a hammer on somebody, they tend to take you for all your words. So YouTube, YouTube's a bit safer zone, you could say. It's always good to be in an area where you can talk, and it's all good. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How's everybody? It's all good in the hood, I hope. Coming to you live from King County, Washington, west of the Rockies, the good old Evergreen State. Dang, up late. Fuck yeah. You know it. How was work? Work was work. There's lots of stuff coming in. I spent the first couple hours with another person clearing a whole 50-footer of a whole bunch of E-regs. So what E-regs are anything over 70 or overtly large, of which there were many. It was about 50-foot trailers worth. So yeah. And then a whole bunch of other trailers got cleared. I had a busy night. But hey, what's up? What's up with you? Welcome to the stream. We're doing haven't slept, pulled an all-nighter. Lord have mercy. Oh, I know that feeling. Me in my, as I creep closer to my middle years, as a millennial, we've been told our 30s are more like our 20s. Are you a Chuckdell like me? A Chuckdell? Is it because of the accent? So, I'm mixed Asian and Caucasian. I'm Filipino and German, but growing up, I always really loved the sound of the UK accents, and especially the Aussie accents. Oh, I love the Aussie accent. It's probably like the easiest one to do. But my family is originally from the UK, and we're in the House of Lords. We have our town in you call it you. I'm not sure what a Chuck Bell is. You may have to educate me on that. And I sincerely apologize. But people in the UK call it southwestern England, but people in my family still call it Wessex because our family lorded there for a period of time. We have a place there called Brighamtown, and it's kind of an historical site there. I'm not sure if it's still there or not. I'd be heartbroken if you tore it down for any reason. But yeah, no, my family has history in the UK. We have history in Germany. Well, our previous name had history in Germany. Before we were the Brigham family, we were the Bryce family. We were Germanic nobles or Germanic Saxons. And then we have history there. We have history in the UK. We have history in America. Lots of history in America. Oh, God. My family landed in Boston in the 1630s, and all throughout American history, we have a whole book called the Brigham Family History Book, and it is just oh God, there's lots of stuff in there. My 20s was like my teens. My body, though, was like 50. I sympathize. Love the European aunties and New Zealand accent. I'm not sure I can do a New Zealand accent. Is it similar to an Aussie accent? It's like you have the UK, right? And you have the UK accents, which are just like different, I want to say, tempos. Tempos are the same accent, and I might get slapped for saying that by a UK person, especially if it's an Irish person thinking that, oh, you think I'm a Brit? Oh, you fucking black and tan. And then you have the Aussies, and yes, it's similar to Aussie mixed British. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll have to work with that. 'Cause I love messing around with accents. That's always fun, especially when it comes to doing voices for some of the characters in my stories. Because especially if I'm having to voice three characters talking to each other, I'm like, okay, that's where it gets a little tricky for me because I'm not used to that type of work. I'm not a professional voice actor by any stretch of the imagination. I just, I give it my best shot. So, typically when I run to that situation, it'll be one person has a high pitch, the second person has a low pitch, and then I gotta stuff in an accent for the third. But I'll typically default to a UK accent for one of the characters. It'd be like, our extract is 4 miles north of us, mate. We need to make sure we get there. We need to make sure the whole squad gets the hell out. We need to make sure everybody gets home. Whether we're drowning in infected or raiders. That's the long and short of it, mate. So it'll be like stuff like that. I'll probably like start defaulting to a UK accent, or sorry, Aussie accent, because every time I try to do UK, I'll inadvertently switch between English, Irish, and Scottish without realizing it. Well, I have family from New Zealand, and so I can do the accent. That's dope. I'll put respect on that. It's thick in the throat, kind of talking. Low. Copy that. Yeah, no, I work for a corpo, so I know everything, about having something that's thick in my throat. Yeah, like a corpo dick. Expecting me to bend over backwards for them. I have a freaking like 12-inch cock down my throat tattooed in dollar signs. My flag is green, baby. Freaking Austin Powers. Yeah, baby. I love Austin Powers. The guy was a G. He was getting women and beating up bad guys, all with the charm of a rather dapper gentleman. Yeah, we've got it deep in our throat, and people don't have gag reflexes and think the government is for us. Shake my head. I don't care what anyone says. Anyone tells me, it's like, you don't like America, then get out. I'm like, where the fuck am I going to go? Every other government's the fucking same. Oh, would you like to move to Canada, where they're so soft on crime, they make, Washington look like a red state? Would you like to move to Russia, where they have gun control, and the crime, and the cops, and the government are all fucking in the same porta potty? Government sucks. Yeah, it fucking does. Fuck them. Fuck the government. Literally, fuck the government anywhere. Everyone's like, you don't like America. Fucking leave the country. And I'm just like, and go somewhere and show them the same attitude? It's like, oh, yes. Puerto Rico, I would love your cock down my throat. It's all nice and greased up by America. Nowhere except for New Zealand, somewhere I can live off the land and not be penalized. Freaking like UK, New Zealand, Australia, any of them. It's like they got laws literally for freaking everything. They will nickel and dime your sorry ass. And mine too, and it's freaking everybody's. It's like, for an e-bike, it's like, oh, how fast can your e-bike go? We need to test the speed to make sure it doesn't exceed anything. We need to make sure that the roads are calm. This is fucking Australia, fucking dingus. Telling me to fucking keep calm on the roads a day to tell that fucking huntsman spider to move out or he pays rent, you fucking cunt. Jesus Christ. Hawaii is the last state that now the government is taking over. Ugh. God. Oh, sorry, you can't be on this beach, enjoying the sands and the beautiful Hawaiian sunset past 8 p.m. You might disturb the crab's mating season. I've been getting this freaking, when will our pets be considered dependents? Time for Sparky to start paying rent. He's going to hit up Mojo down the road and, Princess across the street. They're going to start a little, gang and start selling, the doggy treats. Marked up little baggies. So Whiskers the cat So whisking him the cat is going to start selling catnip at a marked up price in little baggies. He sells the good stuff. It's not laced with anything or any of the preservatives, so it's like, fresh and has that, like, taste and everything that cats on the alley love. Like, they're expensive as hell and no vet relief. Ooh, no, that makes sense because, like, pets are expensive as fuck. Oh my god. So me and my roommate, we want to get a cat, right? Get a kitty, a little kitten, a little furbo, a little kitty boy, and it would be so expensive just in those, just raising them and getting them to the point where they can be somewhat dependable or self-dependent. But when you gotta raise them, oh my god. Yeah, when they're adults, the bills do, I guess, kinda level out to a somewhat comfortable level. But when you're raising like either a puppy or a kitten or anything like that, it's like, here's your wallet, here's your balls. Now take a deep breath. I'm gonna yank them both. There's low-cost places to get shots and fixed. I have 6 cats, a possum, a raccoon, and a dog. That's awesome. Oh my god. Yep, it's speaking of possums, I don't know why, but this tickles my brain a certain way. When they random and I know it's like completely random when they it's like play dead. It's so freaking hilarious because you don't expect it. There's no signal, there's no warning, no nothing. There's all of a sudden flip and it's like eep. And apparently it's a natural freaking reflex for them. And I I don't know why, but I just freaking roll over laughing. It's all of a sudden I'm just staring at this possum. It's like frozen staring at me and all of a sudden whoop. It's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Isn't that cute though? It is cute. It's very cute when they do it. Because I'm just like, you're just trying to protect yourself and everything, but you're so dopey looking while you do it. Possums are cute. They're cute little buggers. Raccoons too. Oh my god. Raccoons are so cute. They're trash pandas. Oh my god, man. They're cute little things. I love animals. Only thing expensive is cat litter and meds. That makes sense. They're adorable little things. Yes, they are. I love animals so much. I've seen deer. I've seen on my rides on the trail. I've seen deer, possum, plenty of owls. I've been knocked off my bike by an owl at least twice. Coyotes. Somebody saw a bear. I have not seen a bear yet. I don't know what the fuck I would do if I saw a bear. I imagine that my loud music would probably scare them off. I hope. I don't know what the frick I'm doing against a bear. He can go, if he comes after me, he goes full sprint, he's running my ass down because I can only go 20 miles an hour on my bike, but a freaking bear can run up to, I think 50 miles an hour? No. 40? Full sprint for a bear? I know they have a 50-pound swing on their paws, which can lop off a limb. Oh my goodness, I was trying to get a message to you. Where's your Hogwarts letter? Probably spilled somewhere out on the trail. Friggin' like poor owls gotta be like pulling all-nighters. Get those like Hogwarts letters out. Hey, man, drop your letter. Freaking like the owls getting like hit up by a supervisor on his dyad. Why are you taking so long to get back to the center? I am going as fast as I can. Who? Me? Oh my goodness. It's my e-bike went 30 miles an hour or 35 miles per hour. That's pretty dope. I respect that. That's a good e-bike right there. What brand? Mine's a Totem Victor e-bike with a top speed of 20. Dude, seriously, they're like, yo, take this letter. Woohoo! And the freaking like, they have like a large queue. They have to like make sure they have to get everybody in before the, sign-ups close and everything. So to like, get your ass to this location. But it's not like a train station or anything. It's like a bus transit center. Hogwarts low budget. Fucking hell. But no, I've had owls fly alongside me as I'm just like zooming down the trail. Fucking beautiful animals. I love owls. They're so cool. I think it's kind of funny how they're just like they'll be perched somewhere. It's like staring at you all wide eyed. It's like staring into your fucking soul, mate. Took my thought right out. Fuck yeah, I got it right here. It was stolen, but I think it was a weird name, like Ewan or something, with fat boy tires. Ooh, nice. You see, I do want to get another bike, and I do want it to be a fatty bike. That's sad, though. I'm sorry your bike was stolen. Frick, if somebody stole my bike, I'd deadass would hunt their ass down. Because I want to put a tracker on my bike. And, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh baby. Oh baby. I catch that person. Something's gonna get some fucking air in the tire. But it won't be the bike, it'll be me shoving an air pump up their fucking asshole. See if I can get any oxygen into their fucking brain for the stupid, dumb, dollar choice they just made. Stealing from me. You don't even know they're there. It actually means death is close by. Yeah, me love. I should put a tracker on it. I want to see if I can get a kind of tracker because these like a lot of trackers I've seen is like, oh, it'll only like show you you're near it. It'll only show you where it is if you're near it. That's not a track I love. That's a chance meeting. But they can't go anywhere without battery. The battery alone is 600. Oh, I think mine's about 250. I think. I might be wrong. If you got to steal an e-bike, can't afford the battery. That's true. And if they're stealing, they ain't got the legs to pedal. Fucking pussies. Chicken leg motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Listen to that fucking sound. So I'm trying to gag on a fucking cock. Goddamn. I think it's heavy as fuck pedaling. No, I believe it. My bike is around, with everything on it, battery included, it's like 50 pounds, I think. It's funny because the few times I had to heft it onto the bike rack on a bus, they would look at the bus driver would actually come off and be like, hey, do you need help with that? And I'd be like, I'm good, mate. It folds nicely, but with the battery, it's 75 pounds. So mine's 25 pounds just for the battery. God damn. 75-pound bike. Okay, I need to look at this now. That's a beefy boy. Which makes sense because there's a fat tire. It's a fatty bike. Okay, we'll probably do more of this around chatting for 5-ish more minutes. Then we'll get into the real meat and potatoes of the show. This is a test run, ladies and gentlemen. So, he was a big boy bike. Big boy bike. He was a beefy boy. Fucking go zoom zoom. Put respect on it. Okay. Took that thing on beaches, hiking. Good times. I believe it. I love my bike. It gets me from A to B. It's my first official form of transportation. I never owned a car or anything. I don't want to drive. But I'd gladly ride a bike. I've had it for a few years now, and she was a Christmas present to me from my roommate and his dad. So it was a beautiful gift, and I love it. I love bikes now. I love e-bikes. Got a good deal. My friend had 2 of them and sold them for $800. Ooh, nice. Woohoo! Woohoo! I know, right? I still got paying back for it, but you know, I still greatly appreciate it because it gets me to and from work. I love a new bike, but I need a car. No, I get that. No, there comes a point where it's like, okay, I need two extra wheels plus storage space, and gas, and a few other things. A car. So, but anyway, the whole meat and potatoes of this show, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are going to be talking about paranormal and supernatural, weird, freaky stuff. Considering it is towards the end of the year, not necessarily in the Halloween month anymore, as we are a month and a few weeks past that, which is fine because if you have a decent enough campfire, decent enough imagination, we could all take a little trip down storytelling lane and tell and talk about a few stories. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Musical Pumpkin. Welcome to Musical Pumpkin Studios. This will be test number 1. It's taking place on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So there won't be a test tomorrow, but there will be another one on Wednesday. And we'll see how this one goes. But coming to you live from King County, Washington, the Evergreen State west of the Rockies. Hope you're all having a good morning, midday, or evening, whatever it may be for you. Hope you are safe, hope you are well, and hope those whom you love and care for are also safe and well. We're going to be talking about some pretty crazy things right now. If I go for about another hour and a half, then we'll call it there. So we got a good amount of time to just sit and talk. And yeah, so anybody who wishes to go into the chat and drop their stories, and we'll talk about them. I've got loads for you. We should be talking on the phone. I have so many. I see Ghost all day and also read tarot. How close are you to Troy? Oh, he and I went to school together. No, I met the whole gang for the first time in 7th grade. That was good old 2007. Many a summer ago. Do you have Discord? I do have Discord. If you are on Troy's Discord, you can find me on there. It's a Musical Pumpkin. Yeah, no, totally. Check it out. I don't have a Discord, but I have a Discord account. I do need to. I should start. I need to get a Discord started for the channel. I think that'd probably be a smart thing to do at some point here. I got a lot to do this week, so. Adding that to the list. Go put my vape down and go pour myself a second drink. So if anybody, Honey Babe here, if she wishes to be the first one to volunteer as tribute and put in her first story, and we'll have that as the first to talk about. If she feels so inclined, it would be pretty dope. I'll be right back. I've got a lot of paranormal stuff. Slept in a few mausoleums in Nolans. Ooh. Now that place is a hotbed for good stories. Okay, I'm going to add you. All right, copy that. When I get a chance, I'll accept it, and we'll go through there. All right. Woo. Ah. Okay, BRB. Have volunteer tribute. Good. Dopeness. I got my second drink. All right, let's hear that first story. Take your time to type it all out. I know YouTube chat can be a little weird, but that's how it is. Okay, so I was homeless in New Orleans. I had nowhere to go, so I went to one of the famous cemeteries, reading all different placards and walking around exploring. By the way, this was a maze. Oh no, I've seen pictures of a lot of the because I think they still have the above ground cemeteries. I think it has something to do with like the land and everything. And so they're mazes. Like you could walk into just one and practically get lost in there. It's definitely an experience, or so I've been told. It's crazy to like even look at pictures of them. I'm like, man. So I was starting to get tired. I found a nice clued spot. Mind you, all the crypts had locks on them and sealed. That makes sense. Got to prevent grave robbers and all that. Yes, they do. Okay, copy that. Thank you. Yeah, never been to New Orleans. I hear it's a very beautiful state with a whole menagerie of culture and history, which I put a great amount of respect on. And the dreams I was having was lots of wild shit. People talking to me. I was curled up for some reason. I woke up very warm. It was a chilly night. I thought I was going to freeze. My goodness. I really do got to hand out a very fair amount of respect to anyone who may be in a state of homelessness and decides to go on a little side adventure to a cemetery, regardless of where in the world it may be. That's definitely I guess it's really an interesting road to take. I'm not a bad one by any stretch of the imagination because, if I was homeless, I'd probably take a little trip to the cemetery and, I guess, commune with people who may have had better decisions in life. But, not saying, not trying to like throw shade or anything like that at all with my terrible freaking wording. But it's probably something I would do. I woke up and walked through, and all the seats were popped. All the seats were popped open. The locks were cracked, but I was unharmed and woke up warm and unharmed. Then later that day, it's an amazing time. I love cemeteries. I've been to a few cemeteries. I think I've been to like a couple, and there's always just that weird feeling you get. You could say it's like an energy there because there's definitely something about cemeteries that have a certain allure to them, a certain curious allure, and I don't even know how to word it. It's interesting. It's interesting. Standing amongst the resting place of dozens of people who came long before you, and reading, the minute slivers of their history. It's a interesting time. It's later that day. I'm walking around town, enjoying some more sights. And I heard these kids crying out for help, and then, like some evil presences cackling. A cackling evil presence. I would definitely like to know more about that. As I've said before, ladies and gentlemen, there is always more to this world than meets the eye. and I was walking. There was a trail of white feathers, so I decided to turn back around and follow the feathers. A trail of white feathers. That that is interesting. Okay. Now you've piqued my interest. Guess where the feathers started? When I left the mausoleum. Whew. Do you think something was possibly trying to contact you? I've been reading tarot since I was 7. So my family, especially on my mom's side, were greatly invested in the paranormal and supernatural. I can tell you a thing that my mom told me her mother slash my grandmother told her on my mother's side is that there was a I guess you could call it a tradition of psychics, or a trend of psychics, I guess is probably the best word I could apply to it, in the family, and that it skipped a generation. And so she said that I and my sister would be the next to be rendered those gifts. Haven't really done much with it though. I don't know if I'm psychic or not, but time may tell. Right at the gate, the feathers were pure white and soft. Ooh, not dirtied or muddled at all. Pure white and soft. So this a trail of beautiful white feathers. Okay, what happened next? I picked up every feather and saved them, but in and out of homelessness, I've lost lots of sentimental valuables. Oh God, I still remember reading through, or at least briefly perusing the original copy of the Brigham family history book, and it was in tatters. You could tell it was an old book. As I'm reading through it, the pages are just falling out. I mean, some are dang near crumbling in my hands. Like this book, I'm not sure. I don't want to say it was like the very first copy ever written, but it was definitely a very early print. But I did feel a protection around me. Do you think there was an evil presence, and maybe considering they were white feathers, pure white feathers? Do you think that maybe an angel was protecting you? Yeah, something like that? So a day later, Hurricane Isaac came through and told everyone not to worry because it's not going to be a bad hurricane. Ooh, sort of a Mothman sort of thing, kind of like a warning or a sign saying that, hey, it won't be that bad. You will be protected. It's interesting. I do believe an angel was. You do believe an angel was protecting you. I mean, that's definitely where I am coming from, based off the pure white feathers, because when I see pure white feathers, I think like not dirtied or muddled at all, pure white, clean, soft. That definitely has to be an angel, because that's a level of perfection that could really only be attained by one of them. Everyone made fun of me. Oh God, so all through my younger years, I believed and still do believe in many a type of creature or being that I have very little proof of their existence. But to prove the existence of something, kind of a small tangent here, to prove the existence of something, whether good or bad, if you prove the existence of a good thing, you prove the existence by extension of bad things. It's like, imagine you're out in a cabin and some type of forest creature, like something evil, something horrific, sieges your cabin. What do you do? Bullets, maybe? Well, bullets may not even affect it. And you're definitely not getting close with a blade. Oh, gosh. I walked into a bar later that night to a hurricane party, but it was a racist bar I did not know. Oof, that's unfortunate. I believe in the supernatural, as do I. There's definitely more to this world than meets the eye. Because if, in my personal belief, if God made everything and only everything that we can see, hear, touch, and feel, then obviously no offense to him, but I guess he was pretty bored. So there is definitely more to this world than meets the eye, but it may not be here or be as, how do I put this? As be be as apparent is the best way I can put it, as it did maybe 100, 200, even 400 years ago. I dreamt of zombies and vampires before I ever watched anything about zombies and vampires. I believe that. I believe it. So everyone looked right at me as I walked in, and they all said I was a witch. The whispers of people calling me a witch and a descendant of Mary LaRue, or whatever what her name was. Marie LaRue. Marie LaRue. That name rings a very small, distant bell in my mind. Was she by chance a voodoo practitioner in New Orleans? And sorry, Nolans. I love that the southern pronunciation of New Orleans is Nolans. Like even as a northerner who's never been there, I just love that southern twang. It's a very romantic appeal to it. But then someone's son came to me and was flirting with me, and then I got kicked out until I couldn't come back and take my spell off the son. Here she was, very highly known there. Ooh, okay. Okay, Marie LaRue. You see, that name means a very distant bell in my mind. I feel like I may have been watching a video at some point and her name might have been mentioned. Nolans, baby. Nolans. You see, at one point, some odd years ago, there was a woman who was a supervisor temporarily at my work, and you could tell by her accent, she was deep south. It was a deep southern accent, and just the sound of a southern accent, speaking of course as a northerner, is just has a very romantic appeal to it. It's a very romantic twang. They say baby every time. Nolans, baby. Okay, copy that. I'll remember that going forward then. Nolans, baby. Maybe somebody from Nolans will come along and I'll impress them with my little bit of knowledge of a place I've never been, but would absolutely love to visit at some point. The only state I've ever been to is Oregon, and I've only ever been to Portland. I got sort of kidnapped by some friends on a road trip to go to Oregon and eat and try out voodoo donuts, and we were, stoned and happily merry all the way there. But I go to the Creole side, and they all called me Wonder Woman. Why? I don't know. And also, they would move out of the way from me when I walked through the streets. It was such a supernatural place, and I would go back. I would too. See, Washington, I imagine, from here to Nolans is just, there are places with history. All through the Midwest and the South, there are places with history. And maybe, obviously, probably in the more Midwest and Western and Northern areas as well. Yo, just got done in gym. Hope you're well, brother. Hey, Grayson. You getting them gains, brother. Getting them gains, brother. Hope you're well, man. Hope everyone in your family and your loved ones are well. We're doing the first test run of a supernatural and paranormal show that I want to see if I can run for a while. Let's see how far it goes. See how well it goes as well. In Cohesion, where we talk about freaky, spooky, supernatural, and paranormal things. Perhaps some of you have stories that you can tell. I have at least one story and a couple of other side stories, or at least a little bit of lore about my family. And yeah, and we just talk about them. I grew up watching, or not watching, sorry, wrong word, listening to Art Bell on the radio. Because my mom was a big listener, and by extension, so was I, and my sister as well. And so, Yes, yeah, it's good times. Have a few stories. Excellent. That is amazing. I'm sure we can definitely talk about them. And we just got, I think we're still talking a little bit about Honey Babe's story, where of her time in Nolans, baby. And I also mentioned that my grandmother on my mother's side would go on to tell my mom that there was a tradition or a trend, as I put it, of psychics in the family, and that I and my sister would be the most, or the next generation to adopt those gifts or be rendered those gifts. I have never really taken it too seriously, but I grew up in a family that definitely believed in the supernatural because it was all around us. There was all sorts of talk about it. That's me adding you on Discord. I saw it. Copy that. All right, I'll answer that after. I'll take care of all that after the show. I can tell you how them. Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I've talked to a lot of people. I've heard lots of stories. I've heard stories of people encountering what they thought was a werewolf or some type of a shape-shifting being. I've heard ghost stories. I've heard possession stories. I've heard of things that don't make sense. And my justification and personal explanation for it is, but also a personal belief, as I mentioned previously or earlier in the stream. Oh, 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 sorry. Oh, is that if God made only everything that we can only see, hear, touch, and feel, then no offense to him, but that's pretty boring. There is definitely more to this world than meets the eye. Our ancestors knew way more than they were willing to write in their scrolls in history books. But yeah, but there is definitely more to this world than meets the eye. And I, for one, am willing to take a picture of it and encounter it and show all the world. But then, in the current day and age, probably just tell me it's AI. So yeah, need to have them so it's untapped potential. Thank you. I'll have to look into this at some point. See what I can do with it. Maybe I can help the world somehow. Plus, your pen to paper can manifest lots of things. Oh, yes. Modified. What's up, Owen? We watched our videos we made. That's cool. I think we lost all of our spiritual knowledge during the burning of Alexandria. I have so many to share with you. I've written so many down. That's epic. So we got roughly about another reincarnation, baby. Reincarnation, baby. I was probably a squirrel at some point, but who knows? There's nothing wrong with being a squirrel. You get lots of nuts. Pen to paper sounds like your superpower. I have a way with words. I cannot always muster it in the blink of an eye, but when I put pen to paper, I can create and write out many a honeyed word. And I'm pretty proud of that. But yeah, oh, and the burning of Alexandria. Oh my goodness. That is a commemorative event in human history that we should be having funerals. Like, there should be a holiday every year commemorating the burning of Alexandria, of which there were, I think, 2 or 3 burnings of it. It got rebuilt and then burned again. But so much knowledge of the old world lost. It was so sad, so tragic, even. Knowledge is meant to be preserved, for better or for worse. I use pen to paper to scramble minds. That is the truest explanation I have heard from a person in a long time, Owen. Not to throw shade at all, but if I ever need someone to come in and steer a conversation away from something awkward, I'm definitely summoning the Pokeball with you in it. Out of respect, of course, out of respect. Same, I can't speak eloquently, but I can write like Shakespeare. Same. There was some secret sex that kept the knowledge, mostly the unforbidden. You see, there is forbidden knowledge in this world. There is unforbidden knowledge, which is mostly known by most people, and there is forbidden knowledge. And now, I do believe humanity should explore every corner of the planet, from the deepest ocean to the tallest peaks. But we can all agree there are places mankind was not meant to go. And while you may come across, say, a vault or a tomb or anything, and somebody from hundreds or thousands of years ago leaves you a message, my bad, forbidden. Okay, that makes more sense. But anyway, mostly the forbidden knowledge. Oh, so they knew the top secret stuff. The stuff that was, their ancient equivalent of classified. But if somebody leaves a message hundreds or thousands of years ago on a cave or a tomb or anything that says, hey, well, it says basically, don't open this, you'll die. Maybe, just maybe, don't open it. I've got some classified information. Ooh, let's hear it. I love classified stuff. I love me some classified stuff. I've actually considered taking a little personal camping trip up into the good old Washington wilderness, where apparently the Washington wilderness is the hot spot for Bigfoot sightings. And I've always had like this sort of scenario play out in my mind where I'm spending a night at this cabin and the cabin suddenly becomes under attack or is at least visited in some abrasive or aggressive manner by a Bigfoot. Who do I call? Who do I call for that? Do I call the cops and say, I can't say Bigfoot's at my door? They won't believe me. They'll think I'm insane. And I could call, you see, my thought was I could call a nearby military base. And this is, of course, assuming I even have a signal out there. And I could call a nearby military base and be like, hey, something that you and I both could agree on that I am not supposed to know about is currently throwing huge rocks at the cabin I'm in. Please save me. How about the Bigfoot peoples? The PCT? Well, I thought the PCT was East Coast. What is PCT? How about the Bigfoot peoples? I do believe in Bigfoot, because if I believe in ghosts and all this, Pacific Coast Trail, the Appalachian is here. Okay, so Pacific Coast Trail is West Coast, Appalachian is Midwest to East-ish coast. Save some Bigfoot hunter numbers. Ooh, yeah. No, I wouldn't want to hunt a Bigfoot. That is a rare breed of creature there. I would definitely not want to render their numbers any thinner than they already are. And to say nothing of whatever vitriol they may have towards us for whatever of their number that our ancestors may have killed. Because if a giant like 8 to 10 foot ape man came out of the woods to a settler, the settler probably raised his gun and fired and either winged and or killed said Bigfoot. So, and Bigfoot stories are, I will say they're a dime a dozen, but they're not bad. There is a menagerie of good stories out there told by reliable people. No, it starts in Georgia to Maryland or something over there. Okay, I'm convinced humans are AR. I'm not sure what that is. How about grab some tambourine and sing them a lullaby? Or maybe here's an idea. I'll be a brave human. I will try to negotiate. I will not bring lead nor spear tip. I will bring peace and the power of the word, and see how long that keeps me safe before he grabs me and rips me in half. But I'm convinced that humans are aliens, and the original species of Earth was a group of psychic primates. You know that That's totally not out of the question because what do we know of the mental capabilities of any one species? It totally could have been psychic primates that were part of the genetic makeup that created us, depending on which theory you believe in. No way we built the fucking pyramids. I'm sorry. You know, they did find that deep, deep part. I think it was like through X-rays or LiDAR or something. Somebody's going to have to correct me later at some point, but they found this expansive chamber at the bottom of the pyramids that they have not yet explored. And while I do believe and making sure I have proof for anything that I do encounter and or find, I will say this: the pyramids are an oddity. Now, I know that you said you don't believe the humans built the pyramids, and I agree to some extent. I do believe something helped us, or we helped them build the pyramids. And the pyramids are an historical oddity, and I do believe even after humanity is long gone, the pyramids will still be there for someone to find. The Titans. I believe in giants. I believe in the existence of giants. If anyone's ever heard the story of the giant in Afghanistan that was encountered by, I think it was U.S. Special Forces, and they ended up killing it after one of them wiped out one of their units, or a small unit that was sent in before them. I'm very interested in exploring the massive chamber. Oh no, I am too. If somebody came up with an offer for me to join them in exploring that chamber, I couldn't resist. I could not say no. Even if there's something down there that could eat me or kill me, I want to see what is in there because humanity deserves to know our history. We deserve to know where we came from. All of it. Angels, titans, giant animals. Hell yeah, they cut down the giant ass trees. The giants did? So there are, because I know we got redwoods. Is there any species of tree that is larger than a redwood? Because I think redwoods are the largest species of trees. Egypt physically will not allow anyone to go inside the larger chamber from what I've been told. Ooh. You see? We need to sneak in is what we need to do. We shrunk. We went from giants to tiny human beings. Tiny human beings. I'm a bean. Put me in a bowl of chili and cook me up and eat me. The Nephilim. Ah, yes, Nephilim from the Book of Enoch, I think it is. And that book's not included in the current lineup of books told in the Bible. And I actually own my own, own a copy of the Bible. It was gifted to me from a friend's dad who is I don't think he's a church pastor, but he's a reasonably, either a high-ranking or reasonably ranked churchgoer. But I was gifted a Bible, and me and my friend have been working through it. What if the hills are ancient root systems from those giant trees that are now rock? Ooh, have you guys ever seen, actually don't want to add something to this. Do you guys know of that mountain range? I forget where it is. For the life of me, I feel embarrassed for mentioning it now. I forget where it is, but when you take the aerial photo that I have seen in it, or seen of it, looks like a woman laying down on her chest. You see the back of her head, her arms, shoulders, back, her tush, and legs and everything. And I do, honestly, if you took me to a mountain, if you took me to a mountain and I go above it for whether it's a plane or a drone or a chopper or anything, and I look down and I see what looks like a woman laying on her chest, that is the overall shape of the mountain. and you tell me, oh no, that's just erosion. Honey, I'm not that stupid. Oh, sweetie, I'm not that dumb. Okay, so every race has been assimilated Western cultures, but it originates from Africa. Okay, so no turf wars in the chat. Even if it's not even going that way, I will give that warning now, and I will put my gavel down. My phone died. What I miss? A lot of talking. That's about it. We're talking about where humanity could have come from. We're talking about the expansive chamber that was found at the underground in the bottom of the pyramids. We're talking about where humanity could have come from. They already mentioned that, and I'm sorry for being redundant. We're talking about a whole menagerie of things. Bigfoot, even. You know what? I like where the show's going so far. We have another hour on the air. You can tell I loved listening to Art Bell. we have about another hour on the air, so there's plenty of room for people to hop in and talk. I feel like YouTube is. Sorry, I'm not trying to start a war here. Oh no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Even if it wasn't going that way, I just want to throw this down now, everyone. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that may come to counter a lot of people's beliefs that they are staunchly invested in. It's okay. We're just talking about it. It's all good. The campfire is meant to keep you warm, not heat up and temper the spear tip, as it was said. I love to study religion and spiritualism from a young age while kids are playing. I was studying lots of stuff. Oh yeah, no. So I looked up all sorts of this stuff growing up. It was so fun and interesting to think about because, you know, like I said, there's more to this world than we can see, touch, feel, and hear. Or see, touch, and hear. Yeah. And, a few other senses, but, regardless. I don't get into word fights about it, just the things I learned along the way with experiences and not what other people tell me. I'm a loner. As am I, honey baby. Yeah, as am I. So, my whole, the root of my beliefs is that what? Then why don't you know that Christianity originates from two cities, Alexandria in Egypt and Aksum in Ethiopia? Oh my lord. Okay, so I believe you, Owen. I believe you, and I don't want to drop the gavel on anyone who doesn't deserve it for any reason. For any reason. So, nope, it was its own country. Egypt was we as men put up boundaries and borders what we know today. Yeah, so if you guys can have a peaceful exchange of information and maybe, just maybe, one of you can be steered the other way and learn something new. As long as keep it peaceful. It's all good. I don't want to drop the gavel on someone, but I will. But before I do so, I will always step into the middle of the intersection and say that if two of you are going to have a head-on in your vehicles, you have to go through me first. So while you're in court, you can relish the fact that before the argument came to a head, I died pinned in between two vehicles. So. Ending that with a joke, tell my family I love them, and tell my wife I knew she was cheating and she owes me the alimony. Well, since he's a mod, I'll just exit the chat. No, you don't need to exit the chat. No, you don't need to exit the chat. Owen, quit abusing your mod position. Understood? Always steer it in a peaceful direction. Do not make me say that again. You know me, I do not like wasting my breath. I say one thing, I do not hope to say it again. Oh God, my back. Oh. I got roughly another hour here or so. So, I think one thing we were talking about is that, because actually no, something new. I think there's an old either it was a mining town or a logging town. I want to say it was a little mining outpost that's haunted in Washington. We actually have a few haunted spots. I do envy the Midwest and all of them. You can use Google Mate. That's the unshadowable truth. The most important cities listed at Parable were Africa. Oh my lord. Okay, well, I need to stop saying "oh my lord" and acting like this is going somewhere bad. Obviously, you guys, as long as you steer it somewhere nice, it's all good. But yeah, it's all good. Christianity was made the state of religion in Ethiopia in 327 AD. Oh, there's so many haunted spots here in the south. Oh, I believe you. No, I envy the south, the Midwest, the East Coast. So many spots that are rank with paranormal and supernatural activity. I just wish we understood more about it, because I feel like, here's my whole thing. While a person can experience something, to be able to record that experience in the moment, you'll probably only be able to record like a small fraction of it, not something you can bring to somebody. But here's a theory that I think has been rolling around for a while, and I think it's the mostly accepted theory for a while. Most of our equipment can accurately pick up any spirits or anything, is because we lack the technological level to be able to record and observe them. I think that's the widely accepted theory now, is because you have a lot of these things on the internet. They're like, hey, it's like spirit boxes and all these other things. And it's like, these are just, at least in my own, in my eyes, there's my own personal opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. They're just trinkets. They're trinkets, they're toys. They're made for that purpose and no other purpose, beyond that. They're just to, excite everybody in the room and fuel your imagination. Personal, unrecorded experiences is where the real gold is at, and those are the stories that are used to, fuel more interest in the subject. Someday humanity is going to have to turn back towards supernatural and paranormal for answers to questions that they may have. It says in the description it's a toy in Google Play. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yep. It's not serious. It's a toy. I don't want to say they were grifting, that they put it in the, maybe in the item description for their shop or something, I don't know. Yeah, hey, this is a toy. And, most ghost hunting shows are just people playing with toys, which is fine. You can have your show, you can play with your toys and, jump at a random, draft. Because at the end of the day, it's all for entertainment, and I can't fault that. I've died for 13 minutes once, and I've seen the most amazing things. So, I've never died. I've never been in a near-death experience, nor have I died for any amount of time, or come close to dying for that matter. But I have one story. So, when I was very young, it was early morning, and if I remember correctly, I have the memory. I've died a total of 3 times. I've almost died twice. I've not fully died. I've not reached the end of that path, but almost died twice. I almost drowned one time, and the second time I almost OD'd on a massive amount of ibuprofen. That is, unfortunately, for this chat, or this, sorry, for this run, a story for another time. But perhaps we'll come back around at some point, and I'll be more than happy to tell it, because it was a 10 years ago. But the story that I have is that I was very young, and it was in a house that I grew up in with myself, my sister, my mom and dad, and we would. Sorry, I got up, and I'm not sure why. I can't remember exactly why I got up to go to the living room, and I'm walking into the living room down the hallway. And to my right is the living room, and to my left is a dividing wall. And on the other side of the dividing wall is the dining room on the far side, and closest to me on my left is the kitchen. And so as I am walking towards it, I'm just on the cusp of exiting the hallway to enter into the living room, and this pale blue transparent shape, absolutely a spirit of some kind, just rushes, is floating above the ground, and it just rushes from the living room to the kitchen right in front of my eyes. And I was terrified. I sprinted back to my room. I woke up everybody in the house. My mom was the first to rush out of her bed. I actually back into my room and grabbed one of my toys, a really long bat-like toy, because I was ready to defend myself against this spiritual thing that I saw in my young, uneducated self felt threatened by, because I didn't understand it. And my mom comes out confused as all get out as to why I was standing at the holding down the fort as I was to the entrance to my bedroom with this long toy in my hand, ready to swing at anything that came through that even remotely resembled what I saw. And so that was the story that still sticks with me to this day. And I actually, now that I remember, I have a second story. And this story is, yeah, no, it's, my mom believed in the supernatural, and still does to this day. And, but she initially had a very reasonable reaction to what I was. I'm gonna throw my phone, rip my charger in half. Oh, I'm so sorry, Grayson. Is the charger not working? Damn chargers. Sometimes they're just not reliable. We have all this cool technology we can do. Oh. A lot of neighbors come through. Not as noisy as it usually is. Where's your phone up, Grayson? I have a dead phone. My phone just sucks. Oh, what kind of phone do you have, mate? I'm sorry, man. I've gone through so many phones. So many. But yes, there was a second story that I'm now remembering. It just shot into my Android. Oh, what kind of Android? What kind of phone is Android running on? At least you don't have an iPhone. If the second that thing starts malfunctioning, you're just screwed. Like, if Monopoly Man was originally made to resemble what Apple would become, I would believe it. But it's a much shorter story. And again, as a child, I had a very overactive imagination, and that's fine. Well, I have taped that Benz charger, honey babe. Oh, copy that. Nice. You and I, good sir. We know to keep the electricity moving. We know how to conduct ourselves. Anyway, I have to keep mine bent in a certain way to charge mine. I might be grabbing a new phone here at some point soon when I have the time. But this phone, especially because it's a Samsung Galaxy, it's such a good phone. Samsung. I really do have to hand it to South Korea. They do make good things. They may also make good phones. Samsung's a good brand. I'm cheap. I can't afford $20 charger cord. Same as these. But this story is much shorter than the first one. It only lasts about a moment or two. So I'm with my sister and my mom in the living room. We're watching a movie. We're watching a horror movie. And this would be long after my excuse me, long after my old man passed away. He passed away at almost 13 to a brain aneurysm. Now, he and I didn't have the best relationship. He had a really rocky life growing up, and it did not treat him well, nor did he grow well from it. To say nothing of his accomplishments alongside. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. That's really kind. I've come to, small tangent, I've come to forgive him over the years because life did not treat him well, and perhaps we'll talk about that at some point, but he became a hardened shell of a man from it, and he had little compassion for much people because life was not kind to him, nor the people in it. And there's a lot I simply did not know about him and still don't know about him to this day that more or less in some minute manner still affect me, oddly enough. But anyway, moving on. I'd love for you to join my podcast. Troy and I are actually considered about we've been considering testing a podcast run. We were supposed to do it on Sunday, but I was asleep the entire day because I was tired. I was up all night doing homework, so we weren't able to do it. So, you know what? Anytime you're in Troy's Discord, him and me should just have a talk about it, and maybe we'll get something going. We'll have a joint operation going. I think that probably be the best way. But hey, we'll talk about it. But anyway, I can't remember what movie we were watching because I grew up on horror movies. Television in general, I loved it. Even some news anchors I vaguely remember to this day. Oh yeah, I know, Honey Babe, absolutely. And so we were watching this horror movie, and again, I do believe in things that most people believe don't exist, but I also believe in seeing things with my own two eyes, and I saw it with my own two eyes. I can't replicate that in any way, but I can tell the story, and that's about all I can do. And so, yeah, no, Honey Babe, Grayson, like everybody here, you're all chill people. Grayson, thank you for letting me have the confidence to making you a mod. Honey Babe, welcome to the chat. And also, Grayson, welcome to the chat. And welcome to the channel overall, everybody. You're all sweet people. And I'm glad to have found you and met you. Because in a world where compassion and common sense are becoming a high-tier, rare commodity, it is always a boon to find and meet good people. But anyway, the story goes is that I was on a chair, and my mom was on the couch. My sister was on a pillow seat on the floor. We're just all looking up at the TV. We're just watching a movie. And so I look to my right, past my mom, past my sister, and I see this black mass just floating inches above the ground. And I saw it for just a moment, and it leaves the living room. It goes from the living room from where we were into the kitchen and disappears. Not the black mass. Oh yeah, no, my mom saw this look on my face, and I vaguely remember, I think I remember her mentioning she had not seen that look on my face since the first story I told. But this was different. This wasn't no blue transparent thing. This was a black, indescribable mass just floating inches above the ground. Did it blink in and out or fade? Smoky, was there a smell or anything attached? I don't think I can remember anything of that. But no, it did not blink out or anything. No, it was there. For the short time that I glimpsed it, it was there. Just long enough for me to watch it go into the kitchen. And that is where it disappeared. And then my mom looks at me and I look at her and she says, "What's wrong?" And she kind of has this look in her eye as if she had seen the expression on my face that she hadn't seen since the first encounter I had. Oh, I need to use the restroom. Okay, going on with adventure, folks. We're gonna keep talking though. Shadow, if I can like get a pen and paper, I will draw you my best interpretation of what I saw, and that will be a decent enough image to show you all exactly what I saw, because it definitely did not seem like anything human. Okay, you got me. I was a hide under the covers type of little girl and tuck the blankets. Nothing could get out. God, me too. Me and every other 90s baby. No, the blankets under the covers was a safe place. And I set my alarm radio for school at 94.1, the mix. Then it would change to 97.9, the metal channel, clock from the 80s, while watching a horror movie too. One time when I was a kid and my best friend were playing and fighting, we got locked in the bathroom when the lock was on our side of the door. His mom had to kick the door open to get us out. I also think sometimes we project our thoughts outwardly as an apparition. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Yes, indeed. Indeed. That house was haunted as fuck. They eventually moved out, but we had numerous encounters happen. Ooh, I would definitely love to hear more about that. We have about another half hour left on the clock or so. Yeah, so let me go grab a pen and paper here real quick. Welcome to my room. This is the pad of the pumpkin. We have another half hour left on the clock or so. I need to get a sweater on. It's actually pretty cold out there. Oh, if anyone's wondering, this is a Nordic necklace that I got offline. It has Nordic compass right there in the visage of Eiksir on it, the great stag that rests atop Odin's hall and chews upon the leaves of the world tree. Okay, take this off for a second. Oh. I'd been sort of standing there freezing the entire time, which is fine because we're getting down to brass tacks. Much warmer. Much warmer. Okay. Now let's see if I can grab a pen and paper here. That will do. That should do. Oh yes, that will do. Oh yeah. Perfect. Now let's see if I can find a pen. What's this pen? It does work. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a functioning pen and paper, which means I can show you at least what I think I saw. Just lost the phone. I'll catch up on the chat here in just a sec. I was kind of away for a moment. I sincerely apologize. Oh my goodness, it's chilly out. Okay, I made a smart choice, getting extra layer on. Okay, let's catch up. Okay, Grayson was talking about his experience in his, was it your house or was it your friend's house, Grayson? I have a lot of supernatural things to come with to share. I'm so glad I decided to do this. Honestly, I am too. It's been a breath of fresh air, honestly, this past hour and a half. So you know what they say about cats and spirituality? They're the guardians of your spirit. Oh, you actually saw a thing about that recently. Orange cats bring you wealth. White cats defend you from evil spirits. I just imagine a white cat clad in like white armor, holding a dachi sword or something. Apostle Philip in Ethiopian, Acts 8:26-39. Or sorry, goodness, I'm silly. Apostles Philip in Ethiopian, Acts 8:26-39. Okay, I'll have to look at my Bible. I do have a Bible. I did mention that earlier in the stream. I'm a fully stocked mama bear. Oh, I respect that. It's still in the modern prints of the Bible. Very nice. Ah, okay. It was honestly terrifying because I was so young and couldn't understand what was happening, but apparently the house was super old and used to be an old trap house. I'm guessing people died in it. That's definitely got to be a hot spot for spiritual activity. I do not doubt that at all. Still wanting to do this? We're vibing, dude. Men writes the books. How do we know that wasn't planned for men's advantage to ego or pride or greed? Oh, no way, Grayson. Old trap house. Holy Toledo. That's definitely got to be a spot where there's some spiritual activity that may be popping off, as it were. It had a weird, like, man cave basement that you had to crawl through a little tunnel to get to. Weird to explain on text. I'm better explaining in person. You see, there are so many houses in this, like, well, for example, this country that have secret compartments that have been built over. And who knows what happened there. Okay, so. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. I'm so silly, folks. pen. Got the paper down here in front of me. I'm going to draw you exactly what I think I saw. So. You hear that scribbling? That means what I saw had no freaking discernible shape. That's when you know it's fine to be scared. I'm sorry, Pumpkin Mate. It's all good. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. It's all good. The supernatural, while it's okay to be scared of something you don't understand, it is always better to try and understand it, for better or for worse. The more you understand something, the less scared you'll be. Yeah, I always wonder what it was for his parents. Always told us to go down there, but we always did. Are y'all ready? Let's see what they said that. Maybe they were scared of it too, Grayson. Maybe they knew something. But, you know, even if the realtor knew something, who sold it to them, they're not going to say anything. Oh, no, they want to make that commission. This is what I saw floating inches above the floor. No discernible shape to it. If anything, it's a demon amoeba. That's what I'm calling it. But, or demoeba, or I don't think those two words are supposed to grammatically work together. But hey, we did it. They definitely were scared of the whole house. They would say it's haunted too. You see, the house I grew up in was built in the 60s. Some stuff definitely happened there. Had to. But this is what I saw. Don't mind this stuff up here. I was just testing the pen. But yeah. This right here is what I should be paying attention to. I can definitely feel the bad energy. Yeah, I remember it clear as day. The fact that we're talking about demons. Yeah, it's definitely the one you don't want to know to learn to swim. But, my goodness. Grayson, 10 points to Gryffindor. But, that is what I saw. Thank you for the joke. Thank you. 20 points to Gryffindor, 20 points to Honeypuff. We got this. Do not let that impregnate you. Do not give birth to the Antichrist. We don't need a Lucius 3, okay? Those games stopped at 2, and that was fine. But yeah, that is what I saw. And no Horcruxes, okay. Speaking of Horcruxes, do you guys know that apparently if you go to hell, if you are meant to suffer the punishments of multiple sins off several circles, your soul basically gets Horcruxed, and you suffer like multiple circles? I didn't know that. Horcruxing is technically an actual thing. That is officially my new nickname. I went to hell to rescue my husband. Oh, you're married. I did not know that. Are you married? Or are you doing lore for this new alter ego of yours? He was in a red room with high in blood on his forehead. Oh, okay, now you've awakened another. I'm a widow for 3 years. My sincerest apologies, honey babe. I'm so sorry. I did not know. You have my sincerest condolences. He passed away on my 32nd birthday. I am so sorry, honey babe. It's one thing to lose a pet, it's one thing to lose a relation. But when you lose a friend or somebody who is basically a close friend or your best friend, i.e., a mate, a companion, husband or wife or anything like that, it hits, it leaves a void and a wound that you can never hope to fully fill in. Not to forget, but to create a commemorative site in your heart that that you can at least be okay with, but and look forward, but at least look back on the good memories. And honey babe, I am so sorry. I did not know. A decade together, I thought we were going to be together until the end. I didn't know the end for him was in 2022. 3 years ago, so this is recent. Oh my God, honey babe, I'm so sorry. You have our sincerest condolences. You have my sincerest condolences and the condolences of us and everyone at Musical Pumpkin Studios and currently listening and on the air. You're very sorry for your loss, and yeah, if he was a good man, and I deeply believe he was, considering how you are talking about him now. I do believe he is watching you from up there, and he's giving you a big thumbs up, in a quirkiest manner that you remember him doing such a thing. So, you have my sincerest condolences. I am very sorry. It's all the memories. I couldn't imagine the pain. Oh, neither could I. Neither could I. It's all the memories. It's the good, the bad, the ugly, the powerful. It feels like your soul is ripped and torn from your soul. It feels so empty inside, nothing can ever fill your life like it was. It's the pain that can never be filled in any way. Yeah, I cannot imagine that. I can imagine something greatly painful, but I cannot imagine its full force, nor do I want to, nor do I envy anyone who has felt it. What happened? How did he pass? If you don't mind me asking. If you wish to not revisit that memory, I completely understand. I will concede my question. I am very sorry. I think this is good that we did this show. I think it's good that we're doing this show. OD, his friend gave him laced fent weed. He was found on his knees praying. My God, by the nine. Honey babe, I am so sorry. It's definitely 2022. That's gotta be still within the the fent epidemic that America is currently going through. And it's a sad thing to see, tragic, and I can't even put words to it. Sad and tragic don't even begin to fully describe what not just Honey Babe, but people around this country are going through, because fentanyl is taking the lives of our children, it's taking the lives of our friends and our spouses even. So, and there are things that we could talk about that are the causes for it, but we won't get into that right now. Again, Honey Babe, we are very sorry, and you have our deepest condolences. Your husband sounds like he was a good man, and He will be sorely missed. Everything is laced nowadays. I've lost 3 friends to it in my life. I think I've known a few people, now a few more, that have lost friends to the fentanyl epidemic, and me and most of my friends, while we do drink and smoke weed, we buy our stuff from the stores. We don't, because I think a lot of my friends who have lost people they know to, and people they deeply cared for and cherished to fentanyl, it is not safe to buy through friends from people on the streets. Do not buy off the streets at all, because it's probably laced with what probably is fentanyl. Nikki Grayson and Pumpkin, I don't talk about it and it still hurts, gut wrenching. I can imagine. I can, well, vaguely imagine, in all honesty, but again, honey babe, we are so sorry, and you have our deepest condolences. Hand on your shoulder and a hug. And Grayson, for your friends as well, we are deeply sorry, and you have our deepest condolences, our sincerest, deepest condolences. Thank you for sharing. No, yes, honey babe, thank you for sharing. And Grayson, thank you for sharing as well. His birthday was 12/06, and I've been rough lately. That was recent. And I'm sure he is up in heaven right now. If you believe him to have been a good man, then he is up in heaven right now looking down at you. He is fine. He's waiting patiently, for company. And I'm sure you'll see him again at some point. I've been to NA meetings and used to use, but when I saw my friend OD in front of me and passed, I changed my life and turned to the gym and changed my life. I respect that, Grayson. So we're going on the last 16 minutes here or so, last 15-ish minutes. So probably personal story time. I'm sending out the biggest hugs. Thank you, honey babe. Thank you. Sending them back. He'd be 46. He still visits my dreams. I visit him. Dimension traveling, reincarnation. Dreams are definitely the best place to reconnect with those whom we cherish and miss. That is definitely true. Addiction needs to be talked about more. It definitely does. No, I absolutely, genuinely agree with you, Grayson. This is definitely something that needs to be talked about more. And maybe in one of the next streams when we're not doing the show, perhaps we can get into that. That's amazing, Grayson. I applaud you, mate. I got you back, man. Don't feel like you're alone. Thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, no, we're all friends here in this chat. Yes, Grayson, and I'll be talking about that in my podcast and my White Tea Lives. Absolutely, and perhaps Troy and I will be joining you, and perhaps we'll have something to talk about it as well. But so sorry. So I have known people whom I was not personally connected with, admittedly, but I've known a handful of people who are not with us anymore, who decided to take the early pass off the train through addiction and drugs and a menagerie of other horrific ends. But if you guys need Arcane, Narcan. I'll get them free through. Okay. I really do need to perhaps I do need to carry some Narcan with me on my rides. You never know when I might run into somebody who needs some. I've never thought about that. I didn't know you do live, so I'd stop by sometime. Yeah, I do go live a lot. Absolutely. Copy that. I'll have to stop in one of these days. Thank you so much. Right, you never know. Absolutely. But because of Jacob, I carry it all the time. Rest in peace, Jacob. Was that your husband's name? Or your late husband's name? Oh, you're tired? I am quite tired. My work was very. The work was abusive and heavy, but that's not important. So, the story I will be telling is the story of where I almost died. So, my life has not been kind to me. It has really never been kind, but even so, I would not trade a single moment of horror for the lessons that I would have learned from it. Because even though life has not been kind, I take and carry close to my heart the lessons I have learned, even in spite of me not being able to purvey them or anything, learn from them correctly in the way that I should, but I digress. Yes, it is. I'm adopting a road for him. That is beautiful, honey babe. That is beautiful. I'm a D pumpkin. Yes, preach. Those are your shoes and your miles you travel and your array of hats top off to you. Thank you so much, honey babe. Thank you so much. But so the story goes, life had not been kind to me, and I was very hard on myself, and I still am. Good men are hard on themselves, bad men are hard on others. But I digress. I decided I was going to, at least in my eyes at the time, do the world a favor. So I took a handful of around 14 ibuprofens and I washed it all down with Smirnoff. And I decided to, just after I was done, me and my friends were having a little get together in the man cave. We were all hanging out and gaming. And I just calmly laid down on the couch and I told my friends I was going to call it a night and I would see them in the morning. And I woke up mid overdose. Mid overdose. I woke up in the middle of it. And it was not a fun experience. I instantly learned the second I woke up, I have made a severe mistake and I need to rectify this. After taking several trips out to the woods next to the house and vomiting profusely, I decided to tap my friend on the shoulder the next morning and say, I need to go to the hospital right now. And so I was taken to the hospital, and they told me after a few hours I was fine because they cleared my system and everything. But they ended up telling me that I had been just a few minutes to an hour later, I would have died. Because my whole original thought was, because I was an idiot and lost in my own regret, that I thought I wouldn't wake up at all. I thought I would go to sleep and that would be the end of it. It's never that simple. It's never that simple. You mess something up, you miss something, you make a mistake, you misinterpret something, and I woke up mid crisis. And after a few trips of going out to the woods, like I said, next to the woods, out by the house, and vomiting, and also fighting with the earth because I was angry. I was like, I was angry at myself because I was like, why did I make this decision? Why did I do this? And so I'm pounding the ground, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm cursing, the very world itself. And I'm saying, why is the world so unkind? I could be led to such a foolish decision. But none of that mattered. What mattered was keeping me alive. And now here we are. Now, here we are. Thank you so much. Honey Babe, you and you, Grayson, all of you. You're great, great people. If only the people at my work knew how such of a great person I am. Let you all in on a little secret. I'm a dick to people at work. It's because I still have a lot of stuff I'm dealing with. I have mental issues that appear to be cascading. At least I think they are. Or maybe it's quote unquote all in my head. But I'm a kind of a I'm non well not a dick, but I'm standoffish at work because I have mental problems and I feel it's better that people don't deal with me. And yeah, I know. Grayson, you, Honey Babe, sweet, sweet, sweet people. And we're on the final 7 minutes or so of our broadcast. And I think this has been an absolutely great test. And as a matter of fact, I am very confident for the following test, which will be this coming Wednesday, late Wednesday, good old late show, where we get to talk about creepy, spooky, and paranormal and supernatural things. To be honest, Pumpkin, I'd honestly hit on you because of your silent nature and chill vibes. I am flattered. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It really lifted up my spirits. I've been doing some Warhammer drawing. I'd love to show you. Sorry, it's random. Oh, my dear boy. I love Warhammer. I love Warhammer. I was the catalyst that got all of my friends into it, and from then on, their and my wallets have screamed in terror whenever I enter a game store with Warhammer products in it. Because as I get closer and closer to the shelf where the Warhammer products are, is like my wallet is watching a shark get closer to it. You even hear the Jaws theme song start to, fade into audio. I'll have to make my own Discord at some point. Absolutely, absolutely. No, I'm gonna have to do that this week. That's something I definitely gotta do because I can't be riding the coattails of my friends' Discord forever. And at some point it kind of becomes disrespectful. But it's always good to allow the creators that to grow naturally through your Discord as well. You know, viewership is always welcome. That's a great idea. Absolutely, Grayson. Absolutely. No, that's an excellent idea. Seriously, I'm an undercover nerd, so love that quiet type. I also love quiet people. The quiet types, the mysterious kind. They have stories, they have secrets, they know things. They have that touch with the rest of the world that most people don't. But regardless, it is a boon. But all in all, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the last few minutes of the stream and the first test run of the show, which I think absolutely, it was splendid. It was splendidly. So, without further ado, Honey Babe, Grayson, and also Owen, everyone who stopped by the stream, watch out for the people who smile and are happy because that stream works in other ways too. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. In this world, I am more willing to trust somebody who is hurt and abrasive because they're being honest. It's not because they don't want to smile. It's because they have ran into too many people who wore fake smiles for various reasons. But I can respect the person who, through stress and heartache, excuse me, can come up with a a smile, even if it is fake. And if they are a genuine person, you can lend a measure of respect to them. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the show. This was the late. This is the late night. I'll have to think of a name for it, but we'll call it the late night show for now. There's a placeholder, and we talk about spooky and paranormal things on here. I have a couple stories. A lot of you have stories, and we would love to hear them, see them, read them, and talk about them. And wherever you are, whether it's early morning, midday, or evening, coming to you live from King County, Washington, west of the Rockies, the good old Evergreen State. Thank you for so much for coming to the stream, and just for being awesome, good listeners, sweet people, sharing your stories, whether spooky, paranormal, supernatural, or personal. All stories are welcome at the campfire, because the campfire was meant for one thing and one thing only, and that's for telling stories and also keeping warm, and maybe, just maybe, if you have some, heating up some chili in the pot to share with the other storygoers around you. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is your good friend, the Ms. Pumpkin. Ooh, idea? Ooh, okay, what's up? Have a great night, you guys. I loved and amazing. You too, Grayson. Thank you so much. Hey, you stay dope and you stay awesome. Good night, morning to you, Grayson and Pumpkin. My love, rest well. And remember, no matter where you're going through, always listen to people are here for you. You have winning chili. Oh, that's right. You did. I do remember you saying that. Your chili won 3 times. That's definitely some good chili, and I would definitely be down to try sometime. Call this Campfire Hour. Campfire Hour. You know what? That might be the name that I go with. I'll have to see if I can. Well, definitely have to use that. Chili. Chili is so good. I usually eat stag chili out the can. Not fresh out the can, obviously. I cook it, but what I usually do is uh, I'll I'll fry up some. I'll cook up some ground beef and then throw the chili in after and let that simmer in for a bit. Campfire Hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm your good friend, the Musical Pumpkin, back from watching over your pumpkin patch. This was the first test run for Campfire Hour. Hope you can handle the spice. Oh, honey babe, I love good spicy chili. I think the hottest spice I've tried so far is sriracha, and that stuff had me jumping up and down for a minute, and I'm definitely down to try hotter spices, because you could say that my taste buds are feeling quite daring these days. But all in all, your channel to my Discord, absolutely, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. Honey babe, you are, as it is said in your name, a babe. You are such a sweet person, Grayson. You are amazing, and everyone who stopped by the stream, thank you so much. This is Campfire Hour with a good friend. This is Campfire Hour from Musical Pumpkin Studios. I was your host of Musical Pumpkin. Stay dope. Stay awesome. Peace.